System thinking is a method of critical thinking by which you analyze the relationships between the system parts in order to understand a situation for better decision making. According to system thinking, if we examine the interaction of the parts in system, we will see a larger patterns emerge. By seeing the patterns, we can begin to understand how the system works. If the pattern is good for the organization, we can make decisions that reinforce it. But if the pattern is bad for the organization, we can make decisions that change the pattern. I'm going to give an example for implementing system thinking, and in this specific real case, I'm going to point out the interactions between the systems. There's an enterprise here in Mexico, Sucarne, which is characterized for production and marketing of beef, chicken, and pork. There's a plant in Monterrey, and in one of the processes of making beef, they use the electrostimulated process, which is the part when the cow passes through a big, large tube with some climate conditions in order to make softer the beef, because the softer the beef, the better product and more sales. On that time, all plants of Sucarne in Mexico hadn't had the processes, but only the one in Culiacan. Happens that director of operations in Plant Monterrey gave the order to all the directors that the new process, the electrostimulated, should be implemented, and the work plan to be accomplished should be by 3 months. Very few days later, the director of operations indicate that the process must be implemented by next week. So that means that they only have 1 day to implement the electrostimulated process because of the department's decision. As simple as that. And departments were like, parallel on that work plan of electrostimulator was another work plan of expanding the slaughter area, so implementing the electrostimulated for next week meant putting infrastructure in some provisional place, so it would cost 300 pesos more of budget for the hurry. Department of Production Finances, everybody said it was impossible to make it happen just for 1 day. Sucarne and directors have the ideology. Tell me how surely it will be solved, how it should be solved, no matter what. The no matter what should be the killer motto of the enterprise. Well, surely it will be solved. Industrial engineer makes possible the impossible, but with deeply consequences that make system damage. After all, it was necessary 2 days of work plan, and that causes taking 1 day of week's production for remaking the area and the other day for installing the new machine and its complements. Pay extra hours for workers, redesign areas, taking 1 day of and a half production, and that means affecting patterns of the system. 1. Environment. Hiring new staff for implementing electrostimulated. 2. Input. Hiring tools, cranes, high prices of services because of the hurry. 3. Throughput. Extra hours of payment, provisional work because of upcoming plans, stressing workers and department, loss of production, high amounts of investment. 4. Output. The work of the system exported back into the environment, and at this point, general conclusions are that maybe was a director's caprice, maybe compromises with the enterprise of the product, and we now know that making things for emergency costs more, and also when you really propose something, it can have